So for this video, we'll be talking about Gerard Baker, the patient in the case notes for this mock exam. And it's really simple. I dare say easy, but you just have to know that one trap when you look at the case notes. It says here, write a letter to Miss Samantha Bruin, senior nurse at Grey Walls Nursing Home, 27 Station Road, Grey Walls. So copy paste that for address. Skip a space for each comma. And take out any space between the lines. Next, we need the date today. And if there's none written on the case notes, you may use the most recent date. In this case, it's 7 September 2010. We'll give the regarding subject line. Copy paste the full name of the patient. You may add the Mr. or not add it. It's up to you. And if the date of birth is not given, just the age will do. Next, let's say, Dear Miss Bruin, and we'll get to the intro. Now, the introduction is just meant to do two main things, or if you want three. Give the patient details, as well as the main problem and purpose. Now, it's very clear here that these are the patient details, so all you have to do is copy-paste that. But remember to give only one main problem. Secondary problems should be in the body. So the introduction is for the main problem. Secondary other problems are for the body. We don't need to talk about the marital status. That's pretty useless. We'll just go straight and say, I am writing to return. Now, you might wonder why I'm using that term. I'll explain in a bit. Mr. Gerald Baker, who was admitted on 3 September, since we have the admission date, we'll copy that, in the city hospital. And discharged on, then we'll just give that discharge date. And that's it for the patient details. Next is the main problem. Again, you should pick only the main one, not the secondary one. I think it's easy enough to identify what the main one is. We'll take this out. We don't need it. He was diagnosed for a left total, or you could just say he had a left total, small l, since it's not the name of a person, placement, and requires your. So we're looking at the purpose now, but it's not the purpose of the writer, mind you. We're looking for the purpose of the receiver. What is Miss Bruin's purpose in this letter? What is the purpose of the reader? Why are you writing to that reader? What does she need to do? And it just here, it says here she will be responsible for continued care. So you can just say here that require your continued care. That's it. We have our patient details, including the admission date, discharge date. We have the main problem, which is a left total hip replacement. And we have the purpose, which is requires your continued care. Copy, pasted from the writing task. Now, body one. Body one is supposed to talk about the problem, which is the left total hip replacement. And if you notice, among all the things that are written here, the one that really talks about the left total hip replacement is on this side, not the left side, because this is talking about social details, useless. Medical background that are not about the left total hip replacement, useless. Medications that are, again, not about the left total hip replacement, useless yet again. But these details, daily dressings, on where you did the operation, the range of motion, occupational therapy, these are ways that we are managing the progress of the healing for the left total hip replacement. So I'm going to grab that, copy, paste it here. All you have to do is expand that. I'll just show an example for nursing management and progress. We gave daily dressings. This is what happened in the hospitals. Daily dressings on the surgery incision site. We did range of motion, stretching, and strengthening exercises. He also had occupational therapy. Staples are to be removed. So I'm taking out all of these shortcuts and abbreviations and expanding them on 21. 9th is going to be September. Because it says in the instructions that you're supposed to expand the relevant notes. Relevant to what? Relevant to the main problem. Not relevant to the main problem, not relevant to the main problem, not relevant to the main problem. Suddenly we have something relevant to the main problem, and that's why we're expanding it. And we're not supposed to use note form. So I don't like to use things such as the 21 out of 9, WKS, FBE, UEC. What are those? One thing that I do want to point out, though, is that this is not really a management or progress point. This sounds like an action. So I think I'd prefer to place this, maybe even this part here, in another paragraph. I'll grab that, put that here in the action paragraph later. Next, we have our body paragraph talking about the main problem. Other details that might be relevant or critical to the main problem could be the assessment, could be the discharge plan. If you want to add this discharge plan here along with the equipment required, you may do so, because I don't think the equipment required should be a separate paragraph from discharge plan. And we want to keep it again within, well, it's not written here, but it should be approximately 180 to 200 words. If your letter is too long because you've added everything, you've included everything from this side, then it will not reach within 200 words. And when you go beyond 200 words, you're including irrelevant or useless information. I mean, look at how long all that is. That's already over 270 words. It reaches 300. So I'm taking out all of the useless information that is not relevant to the problem and just sticking to the essentials such as these. And that brings our word count down to around 175. Now, if you expand these into complete sentences, because again, you're not allowed to write this way. You should not write in note form or bullet form. It should be expanded into complete sentences, and it should be only for the relevant ones. Now, another reason why I'm not including the social background or medical background or even the medications is because if you look at where he lived, it was at Grey Walls Nursing Home. And he's been living there for 4 years. So if Mr. Gerald Baker has been living in Grey Walls Nursing Home for 4 years, and you are writing to Miss Samantha Bruin, who is working at Grey Walls also, doesn't that mean that Miss Samantha Bruin should already know about Gerald Baker since he's been staying in the same place for 4 years? They already know the social background. They already know the medical background of Mr. Gerald Baker. You don't need to mention them again. It's redundant, useless information. Even the maintenance medications. He spent 4 long years in that nursing home. They don't need to know anything about his background anymore. So all of these are pretty much pointless. I'll cross them out. Now, when you get here to the right side, however, these are new pieces of information that the receiver, Ms. Samantha Bruin, are not aware about because they happened in the hospital, not in the nursing home. That's why I've decided to include all of them here. And your job now is just to expand them into complete sentences. And make sure to, again, avoid all of these acronyms and abbreviations. And once again, the equipment really why required. This is fine, but I really feel that it should all just be part of one paragraph, the discharge plan. Now, the hospital social worker that's been organized for 2 weeks hired of Razor from local medicine supplier. You can find ways to summarize or shorten all these things. I'd like to include here the Panadyne Forte. This is something new. That's not a maintenance drug. It's not something that he would take before. So you copy paste that, place it here, and please do not use the QID. You need to expand that into its proper form. Do not use PRN. You need to expand that once again into its expanded form. Please look up the meanings of these abbreviations on the internet because as a nurse, you need to know what they mean when you work in the hospital in UK. So learn the meaning of these acronyms on your own time. I will not explain them in this video. My purpose here is just to show you how to go about the format and select relevant points from the case notes based on your main problem and purpose. Now, once you're done writing all of these things, the main problem, details about the main problem, the assessment, the discharge plan, we can move on to the closing statement where you just say, for further questions, you may contact me. And then just say, sincerely yours, nurse. That will be the end of your letter. Nothing difficult, nothing complicated. I hope you'll be able to expand all of these into complete sentences yet again and remove any note form or acronyms that aren't allowed. Make sure to keep it within 180 to 200 words. The way I wrote it, unexpanded, it's at 177. When you expand it, there is no way they should go beyond 200 words. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time and good luck with your review.